Quick rant as I'm sitting here this morning. I really feel bad for a lot of people. I don't give a lot of advice anymore because nobody ever listens. Nobody starts to meditate or does anything they're really supposed to do until they're ready. It's kind of like being on drugs and alcohol. Nobody starts to work on themselves until they're ready to start to do it. The one thing that I don't understand, though, is if you were already working on yourself and you were meditating and you saw how much that meditation was working, and now your life is falling apart, or maybe it's not falling apart. Maybe you're just in the regular 3D and you think you're doing well, but how can you forget how much better you were doing when you were meditating? I don't understand that. Now, I have been not meditating as much for sure, but there are other things you can do other than meditating, which is meditational. I mean, you sit outside, like I said, you sit outside for 8 hours a day. Oh my goodness, how much is that? It's wonderful. But listen to tones 8 hours a day. There's so many tools. You don't have to sit and meditate. I know a lot of people have trouble meditating, especially on their own, because they say they can't quiet their minds. But let me tell you, Scott used to say the same thing, and it didn't take him but maybe 6 months or a year, and then he never said that ever again. So people don't know what they don't know. Why wouldn't you just try something? There's so much going on, and it's time to wake up, and you're supposed to wake up, but you just keep staying in your comfort zone and not using any of the tools that you could be using to make yourself happier. The comfort zone, even though it's miserable and full of depression and anxiety, we like to stay in that comfort zone and stay angry all the time and whatever. But there is another way. And what does it hurt you to sit and, instead of watch the news or watch Cops or watch some other kind of drama that's going on, why wouldn't you just sit and listen to tones? Why do you have to be visually satisfied all the time? I know we're very visual, and especially men, but I'm telling you, once you just start sitting and relaxing and enjoying yourself in the moment, listen to the birds and I don't really give too much advice unless people ask, but I'm giving advice now because I see a lot of people doing the same things that I did when I was younger, and not even younger, even a couple years ago. I used to think that if Scott and I could just go on a vacation, like if we're in the middle of an argument, or if it's an argument, not an argument, but things just haven't been going well for months or something like that, I'm like, oh, we just need to go away. And so we thought we needed to go to Michigan and go camping this one year, and we weren't getting along at the time. So going away doesn't fix anything. I've done this, and I'm going to move on to some other things that don't fix anything, okay? Because you're still stuck with yourself. It's not that you need to go away and go figure something out or fix your relationship or whatever. It's that you need to figure yourself out, and you can do that right at home. You just think you need something different to fix it. And I used to do the same thing. I mean, you see a lot of people do that. They need to take a trip or go on vacation, or some women, let me have somebody have babies. Let me have a baby so I'll have somebody to love me. And you don't necessarily consciously always think these things, but unconsciously you do, because you're not working on yourself. And it's so easy to just meditate and turn on tones and play them all day. Especially if you're home all day. Why wouldn't you play tones all day? It's a no-brainer. Turn on the YouTube on the TV, or if you have a radio in the kitchen and you're in the kitchen or whatever. This is a no-brainer, people. No-brainer. It doesn't hurt you to listen to tones. No-brainer. I see the little, what that is up there flying around. A lot of people think if they get the perfect mate, that's going to fix their relationship, fix themselves. Finally going to be happy, finally going to get the right man, or the right man for me, right woman for me. No, you're not going to get the right person, because you're not the right person for you. You have to become your own mate. So don't worry about another woman, another man, the perfect mate, going on a vacation, having babies. None of these things are going to fix you. You are the only thing that can fix you. And that starts with being in the moment, listening to tones, doing meditations, going on YouTube and watching spiritual people, whoever resonates with you. Something will stick. I mean, why? If you want to be visual, then turn on YouTube and watch spiritual people. Think you need to watch that TV? Watch the stuff that you're supposed to be watching. Quit watching the news. It's all fake anyway. And I'm not saying fake news. I mean, it's the Matrix. None of this is going on. I see a lot of people that have a lot of family members that are dying. People are going through chaotic stuff. A lot of people are tattletelling on each other. I mean, it's because the good Lord, great I am, whatever you want to say, is trying to bring all this stuff up to the surface, and you're not working on it. Do you want a better life? Do you want to live in a magical world? Why can't I get people to get on board with this? Do you want to live in the kingdom of heaven on earth? I don't understand. Why don't you just try something for 30 days? I mean, one day at a time. You meditate one day, doesn't catch on. You try a different meditation, doesn't catch on. Doesn't matter. 30 days. I'm telling you, your life will be totally different. Try something new. Be creative. Go outside and paint or draw. I don't care what you do. I'm not you. Nobody affects me. I don't affect anybody. I just know I've been there. I've done these things. And I'm not perfect. I'm not where I want to be. But I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I mean, I was telling Blanche, my neighbor, the other day, for the first couple years I quit working. Well, probably first 3 years, really. Not until recently. I'd sit home every day, all day, and you'd think I'd be happy. Because I remember when I was younger thinking, man, if I could just have an extra week off when you go on vacation, 2 weeks would be nice. Or wouldn't it be nice to have a month off from work? And here I am having years off, and I'm still depressed and not happy every day. I get it. I understand. It's just been just recently that I've started feeling better, and I ain't got to do shit every single day of my life. But you know what I quit doing? I quit doing things that I didn't want to do. I don't have anxiety over anything, and it wasn't just not going to work. It worked total anxiety. Having cameras up everywhere, you feel like somebody's watching you all the time. Oh my God. Total anxiety every time you go to work. I'm sure everybody has their own, you don't think you have it, but you got it. I didn't know I had it either. I liked my job. I liked working. I liked people. But let me tell you, but now, when I start to get anxiety over anything that I don't feel like doing, like if somebody asks me to do something and I really don't feel like it, I sit there and look at it spiritually. Like, can I grow from this experience, or can this person grow from this experience? And who can I meet if I go do this today or go do that? Or you know, if I help someone else out and I don't feel like doing it, it really probably might benefit me. Now, if it's just somebody that always wants me to do stuff for them, and then I've quit doing that. Not doing everything for everybody anymore just because. But there's so many opportunities to grow, and people are just not doing it. And I get it. When I was in my 20s, and I thought way differently, obviously, God came to me and said, hey, do you want to start working on yourself and be magical and be able to do these different things and help the world and yada, 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 and all this stuff? And I won't go into all these different little details because there wasn't a lot, because I said no. Of course not. I'm stuck in my 3D and my 3D thinking, and I have freaking 5 kids. I don't have time to go help the rest of the world right now, so come back to me later on. when I get old and my kids are grown. And yes, then I will go help the world and I'll change everything. Whatever you want, I'll do it then. And guess what? Guess what happened? So I went to Seattle. And started waking up. Started me on my path to my awakening. I didn't start meditating or anything like that, but I started having visions. And yeah, when you don't work for like a month, I think I was off for a month or a month and a half, and that was the first time, you know, since I was 17. So you're talking about 35 years of work and not being off more than, well, I was off a year when I first had Spencer, but that's the only time. But that's a lot of work. But yeah, when you're not working, you just start to wake up because you're not cluttered with everything you have to do every day. I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to go to work, I got to go. And when you start slowing down, you start to see things and realize things about yourself, if you really let yourself do it. Now, other people can take up their time with video games and watching TV and doing more stuff. And this is why people don't grow, because they're too busy. Facebook. Everybody's addicted to Facebook. Yeah, you don't watch a lot of TV, but you're on Facebook all the damn time with all that drama. Scroll. You do realize that every time you scroll down and you see a person, you take in their energy. You do realize when you watch TV and watch the news, and when you watch a horror show or anything like that, you take in that energy. Maybe you don't realize that. I'm sorry. I didn't used to realize that. But you do. So I'm telling you now. So the people, just like when I said, you know, your tribe is your vibe. The people that you hang out with, you will take their energy in and you will start to act like them. Now, if you're high vibrational, then you can help them and you're supposed to help them. But if you're not meditating anymore and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then how are you going to help them? Do you not see the signs of when people come to you and they really need help? No, people don't. They don't see the signs. They just think, oh, this is my friend. Let's go hang out. Let's go get drunk. Let's get high. Let's have fun. Not that I don't get high or whatever, but not that I didn't do those things. Not that I didn't get drunk before. But now I'm like, no. You're supposed to be helping others to work on themselves. But you can't help the others if you're not helping yourself first. So you have that goal? You want to help people? You want to help people become more spiritual and work on their gifts? Well, you kind of got to fix yourself first. How do you fix yourself? By meditating. By listening to tones. By sitting outside in nature. By not judging people. Every time you start to... This is what I do. And I don't do it all the time because I still do it. But if I get a thought in my mind and I'm judging someone, I just try not to speak it. And then, months later, you try to get even better. Then you start to think it and you don't think it. You have to work on yourself. It doesn't just magically happen. You know, to be spiritual, you say, love everybody and love yourself and stop judging others. Well, no, it doesn't just magically happen. You have to use your tools. Yeah, you got to meditate. Yeah, you got to listen to tones. Yeah, you got to hang out outside. But you also have to make yourself change. So use your 3D tools that you've used before to make yourself do something and change habits. I'm sure everybody's had bad habits they've had to change in their lives, right? I mean, I know I get together with my men and I have to change their bad habits. And I'm like, wow, where did that start? What age did that start at? Your mother let you do that shit? We all have bad habits. I'm a big last minute procrastinator, I can tell you that. But I learned now that it works out okay, because when I just go with the flow, I can do last minute stuff. Because I don't do anything that causes anxiety. I have no deadlines. Only my own deadlines that I put on myself. Stop stressing yourself out. Stop thinking you gotta hurry up and do this and hurry up and do that. It's sad. But I'm telling you, things are just ramping up more and more. And I keep saying this, the world is going to be totally different by 2025. Do you want to live in that yucky world that you see on TV and all the bad stuff going on? Or do you want to jump into the magic kingdom with me? Because I see a lot of people making a lot of choices to stay in this yuck. I learned something, though, and I had this question, and I wasn't sure for sure, even though the great I am tells me stuff. It's like you still don't know for sure, because we believe in the 3D and what we can really see, right? So when you get all this knowledge that comes through, if you haven't read it in a book, you're like, oh, is that really true? I don't know. So I was talking to my neighbor, and you know, people have a lot of, it's been tough. A lot of people have had a lot of family members dying and things. And she was talking about her mom, and she's had a tough time. It's hard. But we were talking about her one day, and the great I am, it just flows through. You know what I mean? It's just, the knowledge just kind of flows when you're talking to people and stuff. Ministers probably have this. They probably just, the God essence just flows through as they're talking, you know. And I told her, I said, you know, if you just work on yourself and do the reality jumping, your mom is waiting for you in another reality. And all you have to do is jump into that reality where she's at. And then about a month later, I started thinking again about that for no reason. And I was like, wow, I think I could maybe jump into a reality where Dad is. Because, you know, I didn't have a great, well, you don't know, didn't have a great relationship with my dad, and he died of cancer when he was in his 60s. But I was getting, when was I, in my 30s? So I was starting to feel like, you know, I'd start to go over and hang out with him a little bit more and talk, and I thought we could start to have a relationship. And he was feeling better, but then he died. So, you know. But lately, I've been thinking, don't know if you watch Supernatural, but in the end of Supernatural, the heaven or whatever, Dean dies and Bobby's there, and then later on Sam comes or something like that or whatever, but then they're all together again like you are on Earth. But I'm just like, I think that's real, but I think it's another reality. I think you can jump into the reality of everybody that you want to be there will be there. His kid's grandmother, granny, you know, anybody and everybody. And the people that aren't all that great here might be wonderful there. You know, we think that the bad people here or people that have issues or whatever have a lot of stuff to work on. But did you ever stop to think that maybe they're just a NPU, a non-player unit? They're just here to help certain people get to a certain point of waking up. Like, you wonder why people die when they're young. And I think it's just because it's only for that experience. And to die to fuck up your family and whoever, to help them to wake up. Because you don't start to wake up until a lot of really bad shit happens to you, do you? I mean, okay. Jesus was pretty awoke when he was born. But how many of us people would wake up if we were spoon-fed and rich? And you don't have to work on yourself. If you're super happy, you don't got to work on yourself, right? So all this bad stuff happens to help you wake up. But remember, it is not real. I didn't really have a father. My neighbor didn't really have a mother. If your brother, sister died, mate, whoever, it's not real. You didn't really have those people. So why wouldn't you just work on yourself and meditate or listen to tones or do all these things to jump into that perfect reality where these people are at, waiting on you right now? Now, the reason I believe this to be true for sure is because an interesting thing happened. A bad thing happened. One of my kids' friends' sisters died. And when she was telling me about it, I wasn't catching who died and whatever. I don't know what happened. And then she comes back and she's talking to me about it. But I'm just like, you know me, go with the flow, just say whatever comes out of my mouth. And she said that the sister that's not gone, the other day, she just rolled up with her head back. And I forget what all she said, but she was gone. Well, she didn't say she was gone. I know she was gone in her other reality. She said that nobody could wake her up, and she just wouldn't wake up. And then she came back. And as soon as she told me that, I was like, yeah, because I jump into realities all the time. Not, I mean, in my dreams, obviously, but I also do it like when I'm walking, like I don't even know I'm gone. Like I think maybe I'm in a different reality. I come back here. I don't know. It's the weirdest stuff. But I'm like, yeah, another reality. But then she said that her sister did that also and then died after that. And I'm like, oh my God, you just answered my question. She went into that reality and she stayed. She got to stay where she was at. I'm sorry, she did die here. But again, this isn't real. And she got to jump into her best reality. And she's young, she's in her 20s. But she's not going to sit here in this reality and work on herself and have to do all that meditating and all that dumb shit. She probably has all her great karma all lined up and she's living that other great reality. But it really, really reinforced what I've been thinking and knowing for the last couple months. I really enjoy when that happens. And yes, it sucks here and this reality sucks and people are dying and all this crappy shit's going on. To make us wake up, because it's not real. I know, I'm a quack. Hey, I'm just saying. Just saying. I've been working on other things and magically making things happen. Just saying. Twinkle my nose. It's not real. You can do anything. All this shit going on, not real. So why couldn't you do it all? Just like in Supernatural, God came to earth, right? He could do anything, right? Snap your fingers. Hell, there are people that don't work on themselves, that are bad people, that do magical things. You want to know why? Because they believe it. Belief. Belief. You are God. You can do anything. I mean, why do you think Jesus went over to India and learned how to meditate and do all the stuff he did over in India when he was young? Where do you think he was at from 10 to 25? What do you think he was doing when he was traveling the world? You haven't read any of the other stuff other than the Bible that talk about Jesus meditating? And in the Bible, Jesus talks about meditating. So if you're a super religious person, why wouldn't you do what Jesus did? Why wouldn't you just try something new and something different? My 2-minute rant has turned into a 25-minute rant. I guess I haven't done a rant for a while. What does it hurt you to try something new? You spend 4 hours watching TV. You can't spend half an hour, 20 minutes, even start with a 5-minute meditation. Work your way up. Do an hour, but not one for an hour, like 3 20 minutes, or they get kind of boring when they're half an hour. I don't like half-hour meditations. I mean, some of them are really good, but I'm more like a 12-minute meditation. They might say they're 20 minutes, but by the time they get done talking and do all the stuff they do and get into the meditation and out of the meditation, whatever, they're really only like 12 minutes. I say that because there's a Sadhguru meditation. It's a Kriya meditation. It's a great meditation. Sadhguru Kriya meditation. And that's when he just says, I am not the body, I am not the mind. And oh my gosh, has that helped me so much. And I do that all the time when I'm cold or hot or just different things, because I think about Yogananda from way back. And the I am not the body and I am not the mind really helps you to know that this is not you. And how do you know it's not you? Because if you really step back, and really step back, you'll see that this avatar is not you. It's almost like you just get out. You just really have to. It's hard, I know. But if you really, really, really get into your consciousness and not just your thinking mind, you'll realize that this is not you. This is not me. My body is not me. And I'm not all my mind either, because there's someone else conscious that I have a mind. So where does that consciousness come from? So if I'm only my body and if I'm only my mind and that's all I am, what's the other consciousness that's always seeing my body and seeing my mind and talking to my mind? The great I am. Oh my goodness, yes, you're so right. That's your God, consciousness, or your soul, whatever you want to say. I don't care. The higher power. The real you. Get outside yourself. You're not going to discover who you are until you get outside of yourself. You don't need to have a baby. You don't need to go away. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like to go away. But the trip that Scott and I went on was a trip from hell. We spent all this damn money that we didn't need to spend. The energy in the place was horrible, and we fought the whole time we were gone. So I learned right then and there that going on a trip does not solve any problems. And that's when I really started to dig inside myself, when I got back. I mean, I was working on myself and getting to know myself, but then I was realizing that nothing's going to fix me but me. No job, no hobby, no, what do you call it when it's not a job but you love doing it? It's work, it's still work. Nothing. There's nothing I can attain. There's nowhere I can go. There's nothing that I can think of to do that's going to fix the way I feel about me. And it took me a long time to figure this out. I mean, not so long after I started working on myself, but here we are, 55. I'm 55, so really it took a long time. You know what I'm saying? This has been a work in progress for a very long time, which I did not know. But yeah, it took me a long time to realize that you just got to dig in deep, and you got to watch the people on YouTube that are spiritual and resonate with you. You have to do the meditations on YouTube or wherever, whatever. This is what I do, that resonate with you. And if I turn it on and their voice, if I don't like their voice in the beginning, then I just turn it off. I don't even try to do the meditation or whatever. It's I don't know. You'll resonate with people. Lost my train of thought. But yeah, YouTube is such a great tool. Hello, here we are on YouTube. I wish I could just take everybody and give them a great big old hug and squeeze all the fucking shit out of them. But everybody has their own path. And if you wake up, that's on you. If you want to be magical, that's on you. If you want to stay in this crummy, fucked up, disease, pestilence, whoever's running the world place, knock yourself out. But I got tired of it. I am tired of it. But now I'm so detached from it. People are like, did you see this in the news? And oh, is that going on? Oh, interesting. I don't care because it's not real. Everything is just happening so people get busted. The world is changing because it's supposed to change, like, and be in a certain way. But, yeah. People are getting busted because the world is supposed to change. All the bad shit's supposed to go away. All the alien, woo-woo, UFO stuff is coming out because the world is supposed to change. It's now time to change. The traffickers are getting caught because it's time to change. The stuff that went on that island that they got busted a couple years ago, because it's time to change. The rich have been getting away with hurting people and doing bad things for a very long time. And it's time for the world to turn upside down and the bad rich people to go to the upside down world, like in Stranger Things. So I can tell you right now, if you're a bad person, you're going to go into the upside down and you're going to stay in this crummy world. And it's not crummy now, but that's what heaven and hell is. No heaven, there's no, God doesn't sit on a big chair, some pearly gates and all that bullshit. There's no devil. Heaven and hell is right here. Right here. You can live your heaven on earth in whatever dimension or reality or whatever you want to do. You want to be a superhero? Go right ahead. Sometimes I think that would be great. I think about that because I think about it all the time. What reality I want to stick with. I just want to be surprised. But do I want to fly around and be a superhero and help people, or do I just want to jump into that great, wonderful world where you don't need superheroes anyway? Let me just grow some fruits and vegetables and weed and sit outside all day by a little lake or a river or the ocean or something and help myself and help others. Whatever that entails. And the more people that think like this, the more it's going to happen. Because you create your own reality with your mind. Whatever you think will happen. Have you not noticed that? They start that daggone snake show where you can make money to catch snakes or whatever, and then Florida has a snake problem and people are making money to catch snakes. I mean, how many times has the world concentrated on something and made something worse? People didn't want Trump to be president, but they were so busy saying, oh God, Trump, oh my God. Saying it every day. You made him president because you concentrated on it, on how much you didn't like him. So you brought the negative shit to yourself. Your mind will create your own reality. But if you get a bunch of people thinking the same thing at the same time, that's really going to create what the world is doing. We are creating our own world. I'm sorry if you don't see it, but start looking at it now. Do you ever notice when you're having do you ever notice that karma will get you right away? You did something to somebody and you have a bad day for the rest of the day. Your car breaks down, you hurt yourself, and then when you notice you're having a bad day, you just make it worse because you acknowledge you're having a bad day. You ever sit there and think about how you're going to fail a test or a quiz, and even though you study for it, you fail the test or the quiz? Usually that doesn't happen, does it? But you were so worried about it that you failed it. Or you didn't study and you failed it. Whatever you worry about, you're going to bring to you. Whatever you're happy about and you want to bring to you, you will bring to you. Keep hearing, here's the song for the day for you. I got the power. I'm like, they're trying to tell me something, and I say they as in, I don't know. It always just, it kind of feels like it's not you because you're used to your 3D self and your 3D mind. So when I say they, it's like your consciousness, your great I am, and the whatever. It does feel like a they. Because it just feels so forceful, like it's a lot, you know. Yeah, you get the knowledge and the stuff that comes into your being, and it's like, it just feels like it's just a they, like so powerful, like if 100 people were talking to you all at once or something, you know, it feels like a they. It's probably why when people channel, they say they channel like the Palladians or the Arcturians or Abraham for Esther Hicks. I feel like that's 100 whatever, I guess we'd call them souls, or 1,000 or something like that. I don't know. And I think channeling is great. I mean, we all channel. Again, it's all the matrix. So it's just you. The great I am is what you're channeling. I know, I'm very animated. Don't ask me why. My mom used to call me a monkey, like a monkey. I'm like a monkey when I was little. I mean, I did like to climb also, but I'm just a goofball. That's what I want. I always say I want to go back to being younger, like when I was a goofball. So it's coming back, I guess. If I'm very animated, I guess I'm coming back to being goofy, right? Me and Scott make faces all the time when we duo. It's funny. Okay, well, another long video. I hope I reach one person. Just one. Just one. Gotta get started. Why wouldn't you want to be happier? Less depressed? Less anxiety? I know why. Because everybody's in their comfort zone. They like the way it's been all their life. They don't want to change it. Nobody likes to change their comfort zone. I know. I love you guys. Take care.